Greetings, esteemed Black homeschooling parents. Baba Amin here, and I'm here to let you know that it's time to take charge of our children's education like never before. And I have exciting news for you. The Uhuru Academy online K 12 private school and homeschool partnership is here to change the game. And we're enrolling. Listen up. Our curriculum is proudly African centered, empowering young minds with knowledge that celebrates our rich heritage, our roots, and our greatness. Yes, you heard that right. We have students from all corners of the world, and our vision is to create a generation of leaders who are visionary, confident, and empowered. Black homeschooling parents, let's unite and give our children the gift of an education that fuels their pride, elevates their potential, and ignites their passion for greatness. Visit us at uhuruacademy.com to secure your child's position at the Uhuru Academy, the premier partner in empowering our leaders of tomorrow. Peace.
Here we go again, telling Black youth to stop the violence. But when are we going to stop the violence against Black youth? This country enslaved Black youth for 300 years, Jim Crow Black youth for 100 years after that, crack cocaine and mass incarcerated Black youth throughout the 80s and 90s, and decided it was okay for police and the neighborhood watch to murder them in the 2000s. Black youth are the most unappreciated group in America because while all of that was going on, Black youth fought in the Civil War, World War I, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, and Afghanistan. Black youth led the Civil Rights Movement, Black Power Movement, the Million Man March, and Black Lives Matter. Black youth created the blues, jazz, rock, R&B, gospel, soul, and hip-hop. Where would the NCAA, NBA, MLB, and NFL be without Black youth? Incarcerating Black youth is so profitable that if they stopped going to jail, it would cripple the economy because even when Black youth fail, somebody makes some money. I hate to see Black youth killing each other, but powerful people go out of their way to make sure we can't teach them why they shouldn't kill each other. See, violence ain't Black culture. Violence is American culture. Stop the violence against Black youth. Baba, I mean, it's been a minute.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Yo, 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 peace and power, everybody out there. Welcome to Fight the Algorithm. We're gonna get started. Let me bring my partner in here. You know what I'm saying? My partner, I ain't gonna say in crime, you know what I'm saying? My partner in building, my co-architect, you know what I'm saying? My co-molder of powerful minds, you know what I'm saying? Dr. Junichi Bomani, what's up with it, Black man?
What's going on, Black Soldier? You know it's another phenomenal opportunity, man.
Hey, I'm up doing my thing. You know what I'm saying? And been out in that sun today. That's why my face is so much blacker than my chest. You know what I'm saying? Just out here getting it in, man. Out here getting it in, building schools, enlightening minds. You know what I'm saying? Waking the people up, just doing our part, man, to fight the algorithm, man. How you feeling?
Man, you know, I'm feeling fired up, man. A phenomenal opportunity to fight the algorithm. You know, I got to take an opportunity to intensify that mission, man. So I am fired up. I'm excited. I'm ready to engage my people in a powerful way to spark and ignite and unleash that natural warrior genius that we have in us so we can continue to fight that algorithm day in and day out. That's
what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? And peace and power to some folks I see already watching us on Facebook Live. Lena Divine in the house, Charlotte, North Carolina, Funky Town in the house, Christina Singletary. You know what I'm saying? What's happening to you? Then my brother, I go. What's up with you, man? Hey, make sure that you're advertising your Black-owned business in our comments. We can't spread the dollar if we don't first spread the word. Make sure you're liking and sharing each week when Fight the Algorithm comes on to let people know that if they're looking for some powerful dialogue, that this is the place to find it. You know what I'm saying? And so we are energized by everybody that joins us and appreciates everyone that joins us each and every week on Fight the Algorithm. You know what I'm saying? And for those who don't know, right? We call it Fight the Algorithm, right? Because the algorithm is basically a program. It's basically a set of steps that must be done, that are programmed, that's programmed into a software, an AI, or whatever, an algorithm. An algorithm is a program that reads your behavior, right? Like each one of us have a timeline on our social media that's based on your search history. It's based on your behavior. Like in Tristan, Baba, when people come on, they say, "Ooh, I don't know why I'm seeing so much drama on my timeline." Because you search for drama. On your, that's the algorithm, right? And so we decided to do a podcast called Fight the Algorithm, right? Because some of these algorithms that we are locked into are not good for us. Like my boy Agu put in at amnaturalproducts.net, helping us fight that algorithm that says don't support Black-owned businesses. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we fighting that algorithm. So go to amnaturalproducts.net. He gonna have you smelling like new money. You know what I'm saying? And check my brother. You know, like, so fresh, so clean. You know what I'm saying? So definitely make sure you do that. You know what I'm saying? As the folks pile in. You know. So what's up with you, Baba Bomani? What's the deal, man? How you feeling?
Man, you know, hey, I'm feeling great, man. We off to a phenomenal start with the MBK, MSK work, man. So it's been a phenomenal start, getting engaged, getting ready to roll out the program year for another year of Black youth empowerment, man. So
yes, sir.
Working with the phenomenal brothers and sisters there, man. So definitely shout out to the MBK staff, brother Baba Ricky Clark. So, man, hey, just engage, man. Engage in the fight to fight the algorithm in the minds of our youth, man, which is the critical component of our mission that we always, we end up engaging in no matter what the topic is, we want to know, hey, how does this impact our youth?
How does it impact our youth in real time?
In real time.
You know what I'm saying? In real time.
Man. And I know that the Uhuru Academy is revving up. It's about to jump off in a major way for this year.
Oh, man, look here. I'm going to tell you something. We have the most powerful, impactful online school on the planet today. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't a slight to nobody. That's just a fact of life. And I'm excited. Shout out to the whole Uhuru Academy crew, including you. You know what I'm saying? Because we're about to embark on that mission, man. We got several families enrolled all over the country, including in Accra, Ghana. Shout out to the Uhuru Academy family in Accra. You know, we in Africa, brother. We in Africa now. You know what I'm saying? And so Uhuru Academy getting ready. And it's not too late to enroll, you know what I'm saying, for those who are looking for a solution. And man, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm getting so many calls from parents all over the country looking for solutions for their children. You know what I'm saying? We here. You know what I'm saying? Man, why Christina telling you to hush, Bomani?
Yeah, I see that right there, man. Don't be attacking me.
You must have worked that out today. I don't know.
No, man. She just, I don't know what it is. Man.
You know, because she been posting the workouts, man, and then we was talking. She came on he say, she say. You know what I'm saying? And say you been working them, man. So
that's how I've been fussing her. That's right. Because you will reach your full power and potential.
Let's go. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my sister Zoe Sarabo out in Phoenix, Arizona. Post the link to your business as well. That sister is in African fashion. She's a great event organizer as well, doing great things out in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my boy John Doe in the house. You know what I'm saying? Funky Town up in this piece. Man, I know some beautiful Africans. Christina say you be fussing at her about her algorithm.
The algorithm just be having her engrossed. Let it go. Shake
that algorithm.
Man, come on now. You ain't got to, you can change it. We can fight it and we can change it and create our own.
That's what I'm talking about, man. We have to take back the narrative. We have to control our narratives. You know what I'm saying? And we got to fight these algorithms because we can get sucked up in them.
That's right.
Right. Come on, man. How many of us have been at the table with the family table and looked up and everybody looking at their phone?
Yeah.
Not talking to each other.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing. Everybody caught up in their what? In their algorithm.
And just,
and not wanting to talk to each other, all up in each other's algorithm. Then you look up one day and it's like you don't know each other at all.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And that's a real situation. I want, and I know a lot of times we take stuff for granted, or we lose conscious or awareness of these things happening, right?
Yeah.
After something happens over and over, and you get involved with it, and even as a parent, I'm talking about as a parent, you end up, you see them, and then you don't say that a couple times. Next thing you know, you reaching for your phone. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All of us. You know what I'm saying? So, and then we lose awareness.
Sometimes we be at lunch, be at dinner, and we like sit go to a restaurant. We talking about this date night. We had that mug like this.
Yeah, date night.
That's not a date.
That's not a date.
That's not a date.
That's two people at an internet cafe.
Yeah, that's it. That's too bad. We ain't looking at the same thing. We're in the same place having two totally different experiences.
Yeah.
What I'm saying? And so, yeah, man, we got to fight these algorithms. Come up out that algorithm and engage each other in real life and in real time. Y'all make sure that you liking and sharing the video. If you have not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the Uhuru Academy YouTube channel, as well as the Pipeline to Power YouTube channel. Do that tonight. And we are streaming live on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. We all over the internet right now. We even on LinkedIn. So if you're on LinkedIn watching right now, you know what I'm saying? I am not responsible. All right. I'm not responsible if your supervisor come in and say, we've been monitoring your social media and we noticed that you've been watching revolutionary content on the internet. That's not our fault. All right.
Let them know you just want massive change to happen.
That's all it is. You know what I'm saying? They use interested. That's all. They go, oh, Master Day's over there doing the wrong stuff. I was just watching so I can report back. Do what you got to do to keep your job. I ain't mad at you. There's a lot of people that follow me on Facebook and Instagram that will not follow me on LinkedIn. And I understand.
Yeah,
I understand. You Mustafa Get a Cracker on Facebook, and on LinkedIn you Charles Ray Jackson, and Charles Ray is the one making the money. Not Mustafa.
That's the one that show up at 9.
Yeah. Charles Ray, the one who name on everything.
Hey, at 5:15, it's war time, baby.
It's war time though. It's after work now. You know what I'm saying? So Mustafa, log on in to your Mustafa now. And come on in here with me. But you know what? You ain't got to be Mustafa Get a Cracker to be in this conversation.
That's
tonight.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Because tonight we're talking about fighting the Black athlete algorithm, right? Right? And I'm calling this part 1. Because I want us to discuss some things tonight about the Black athlete algorithm, some of the boxes that the Black athlete in America has been put in, you know what I'm saying? And then next week, I want to invite, I got a couple of coach friends, you know what I'm saying, that coach on a local level, but really deep in it. Now, I want us to bring some brothers or sisters that are actively engaged in the sports Black sports community, which you are. You're one person that's engaged in the sports community, you know what I'm saying? To talk about how we fight some of these algorithms, you know what I'm saying, that are harmful, right? But tonight we talking about fighting the Black athlete algorithm, you know what I'm saying? And y'all can help us out in the chat, you know what I'm saying? What are some stereotypes or tropes, right, that are commonly applied to Black athletes?
Yeah, absolutely.
When you hear Black athlete, you know what I'm saying? What are some of the stereotypes that you hear that are applied to today's Black athlete? You know what I'm saying? And while they're doing that in the chat, you know what I'm saying, Baba Bomani, I want to point out that number one, this is not an episode to bash Black athletes.
Oh, absolutely not. Absolutely.
That's not what we're doing, right? That's not what we're doing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go as far as to say this. One of the most successful things that we've done since integration is dominate sports.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? We focused on a particular industry, and we geared a lot of energy towards it. Yeah, and now we dominate.
Yeah, that's right.
We dominate professional basketball. We dominate professional football. Yeah. We don't dominate baseball, but Black folk from other countries do.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. But every sport that we put our energy towards, at least on the talent level, we're dominating.
That's right.
So we'll start with that, right?
Yeah.
I think we can be in agreement with that. However, there's still some things I think that are missing and room for growth.
Yeah,
in regards to our presence in the world of American sports. Would you agree?
no, I definitely agree, man. And I think it would be cool if you know, just looking at, I know, and I've heard you giving some of the historical context of, you know, us as Black athletes, and even from a context of owning our, you know, our athletic arenas and you know, our frames, and how we have ushered our athletics into the world, and how that shifted and changed, and how the algorithm has changed the context of how, you know, the black athlete presents our natural talents to the world. I would love to, you know, to hear some of your historical context on the black athlete and the algorithm impact.
Okay, well, hey, you know, and I'm not gonna go super deep, but I'm definitely gonna go. I'm gonna go in for a second, because you done got you triggered me, right? You triggered me. And you did it on purpose. You know
I did.
Yeah, you know, it just when you talk about black athletes and black athleticism as entertainment in the United States, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say within the realm of the United States, you have to go back to slavery, right? And where black bucks, as they would call them, you know what I'm saying, would entertain white folk, you know, by fighting to the death. You know what I'm saying? Or fighting until someone was maimed or injured. Where you had boxing matches, blindfold boxing matches with little black boys doing Jim Crow, where they were thrown in the ring and forced to fight one another for entertainment, right? Black bodies being used for entertainment has been a major piece of American culture since America's inception. You know what I'm saying? And not willingly. You know, not always willingly. It's not an industry that we founded. It's not something that we brought with us. It was something that was literally forced upon us, right? And then when you fast forward a little bit, when we began to get engaged in professional sports at the dawn of the 20th century, or late 1800s, early 1900s, we were only able to engage. I won't say only. We chose to engage via ownership. Right. And a lot of times we tell the story that, well, because they wouldn't let us play professional basketball with the whites, we were forced to start our own league. Because we couldn't play professional baseball with the white league, we were forced to start. We wasn't forced. We wanted to.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. During that time, you had a generation of black people that said, what they can do, what
we can do.
We can do.
Yeah.
And if they can start a Major League Baseball, we can start a Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
Thus, you had the Negro Leagues, right? I don't like to give that story like the Negro Leagues was as the result of oppression. Black ownership does not come as a result of oppression. Black ownership is the pursuit of freedom.
That's right.
So in pursuit of freedom, you had the Negro Leagues. You had Negro League Baseball, man, and some of the greatest baseball players that ever step on the field. You know what I'm saying? But then black ownership in professional sports got usurped because these black owners were creating a better product than there was on the field with the white folk. It ain't our fault that we do things with rhythm. So, you know, with the white boys was going, and pitching. But the brothers was like, hey, yeah, whoa, zam, you know what I'm saying? Go, oh, you know, it's just a more entertaining game that had more athleticism in it. So next thing you know, leagues began to integrate.
Yeah.
Right? Because they wanted to bring that black talent into those leagues. But guess what they didn't integrate, Bobby? They didn't integrate the ownership.
Yeah.
They didn't integrate the coaches. Yeah. They only integrated to bring in the what? The talent. The black bodies, which in turn is gonna bring what?
The money.
Economics.
Yeah.
Right. Now, the biggest league to do it and make the biggest haul over time has been the NCAA. College sports. Because college sports are considered amateur sports. So athletes are not allowed. Now they can do the NIL, but up to now they're not allowed to make money, right, playing college sports. Yeah. However, the college can raise as much money as it wants to.
That's right.
From college sports. So now you got schools like the University of Mississippi, who done graduated a whole bunch of Klan members, University of Alabama. You know what I'm saying? You got all these traditionally racist schools saying, wait a minute, we can raise millions of dollars if we put black bodies on the court, black bodies on the field. So the exploitation of the black athlete begins. But the black athlete also had to come in and deal with all the stereotypes and tropes and definitions that came along with being black in these white institutions. They didn't say, we're going to let black athletes in because we no longer believe that they're unintelligent. We no longer believe that they don't work hard. We've changed our whole definition of what black people are. So now we're letting black people in. No. They said we're going to let these black athletes in spite of them being unintelligent because we can make money off of. Matter of fact, we're going to let them in because they're not intelligent, because that means we can exploit them and they won't make any waves. We have a product that we can keep dumb, make dumb, keep dumb, and make money off of from the amateur ranks on into the pros.
Yeah. Wow. You know what, Bob? So as I'm listening to this, I'm thinking about as you make this historical frame from us having ownership, from the starting of it in the context of this society to when we were in position of ownership with the Negro leagues, with other types of leagues, where we created our own space, our own domains to harness our natural genius, and then that shift where you start to, in many ways, sacrifice that ownership for acceptance into these other leagues. What comes to mind is that this seems to be where the algorithm has to be inputted, because for me to sacrifice my ownership, where I had so much economic empowerment, I had more opportunities for my community, for jobs and actual spaces where people could speak and talk and communicate and collaborate,
Right.
In order for me to give that up, and it makes sense to me, intuitively, there has to be an algorithm that I start to bring into my thinking that would make sense for me to sacrifice and start to send my children to it, start to send my our talent to it. An algorithm had to be brought into that space in order for me to start to accept the sacrifice of my own talent and our children and into these pipelines that benefit other communities.
That integration propaganda, right? That was not about black, but it was not about black people and white people coming together. It was about capitalism, right? It was about economic suppression of the black community. You know what I'm saying? Because now, like you said, that algorithm was in place that says freedom is acceptance. Freedom is Brown versus Board of Education, where now black kids can go to school with white kids. Freedom is Jackie Robinson. We learn more about Jackie Robinson than we learn about the whole Negro League.
Yep.
Right? And Jackie Robinson doesn't become the first black man in Major League Baseball. He becomes the first black man to play professional baseball.
Yeah.
Right? That's how the story's told.
Yeah. He was the first pro.
He was the first black man to play. So what are you saying about the professional black league when you say that? You're saying that league was not professional baseball.
Yeah. You started demonizing.
You demonize it and you diminish it. So when you have an algorithm that says whatever you create automatically by default has less value simply because you created it.
Wow.
You now create an algorithm that says, well, when I go work for him, when I go work for someone who doesn't look like me, it's an upgrade. And yes, that organization may be bigger because it's an organization built upon stolen goods.
Yeah.
Right. So they can offer me a bigger paycheck. And now I'm thinking this bigger paycheck is also symbolic of more value.
Yeah.
And so now I'm getting an individual award and I'm walking away from a collective movement that was lifting everybody up in my community.
Yeah.
And I'm being taught that by being the first person in that community, somehow I'm helping everybody else that's left in my community.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you work hard, they'll let you come over here too.
Wow.
So if coming over there becomes my goal, I don't want to have anything to do with anything that's still where?
In my community.
Over here.
Yeah.
That's why what Deion Sanders did with Jackson State a couple of years ago was so big. That's why with the past few years, see, that's why I like it when we have an openly racist president.
Yeah, yeah. Pull the sheets out.
When Obama was in office, everybody went to white D1 schools.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you get Trump in there, and you got athletes, top-ranked black athletes saying, "I'm going to HBCU." You see how black we get when we think Jim Crow is at the door?
Yeah, yeah. The influx of black people into the
right. Ed Reed down there, Bethune-Cookman,
yeah.
You know, you complaining about the trash.
Yeah. But he was there. He tried to do
it. Yeah, you must have forgot. But guess what? You're going to have trash at an institution that you don't value.
Come on now.
When you at Bethune-Cookman and you think, well, I'm just at Bethune-Cookman because I can't get into Alabama.
Yep. And that algorithm right there has been matriculating for generation after generation. Is only going to steamroll into a bigger issue. You know what I'm saying? Right. Now that mentalities are generational now. Yeah,
it's generational, and it doesn't just stop at sports, right? But because we're talking about fighting the black athlete algorithm, you can't talk about anything dealing with black culture in America if you don't give it historical context, right? And so that algorithm of the white man's ice being colder, right, has a lot to do with the direction that we aim our athletic talent in. You know what I'm saying? From the time that they're in Pop Warner to the time they choose a college. And aim at going pro. And I did compliment us for being successful in dominating these industries.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, we also got to look at, is it wise to set up 1 million black boys to try to dominate an industry that only got 450 jobs in it, like the NBA?
Yeah. No, it's definitely something for critical thinking.
Right.
And the even deeper part is that what what I offer is that I always talk about this, you know, the idea of the kinesthetic genius, and this is big in this aspect, is that the kinesthetic genius is a natural genius that many of us have, right? And you know, black men, black women, black girls, black boys, where we have the ability to move through space and time gracefully and effortlessly, you know, and a lot of times people can't even understand. He's a freak of nature. She's so gifted the way she jumps and moves, and you know, I always say that boggles the mind of a lot of people. It's natural genius to us, the kinesthetic genius. But one of the things about the kinesthetic genius is that it's natural. It's something that you're born with. The context that you put on it is not a part of the nature, right? I'm a natural kinesthetic genius, whether I go into a man-made field or industry or not, right? So NBA, NFL, these are man-made entities, right? My natural genius is from birth. So whether I go in there or not, my natural genius is the natural genius that has to be actualized, right?
And so cultivated, yes.
Cultivated, you know what I'm saying? And cultivated, right? So I always say natural kinesthetic genius does not mean that you have to utilize it to play in NFL, NBA, right? Natural kinesthetic genius can be utilized in many different ways. So I think one of the biggest issues is that we often frame in the minds of our children that their natural kinesthetic genius can only be utilized in these leagues, right? Through this pipeline, right? And that causes the issue of, you know, millions of black boys and black girls trying to get this small number of jobs, because the only frame of reference I have is that my kinesthetic genius can only fit through this one pipeline. That's it.
Right. And y'all, when we talk about kinesthetic genius, we're talking about rhythm. We're talking about a natural athleticism or a physical rhythm, a vibe that melanated people have with the universe, you know what I'm saying, that allows us to skip to a beat, that allows us to maximize our speed, maximize our jumping and that sort of thing, right? You know, and I think what gets lost in the sauce on the other end of that spectrum is what's one of the tropes and stereotypes when you see a gifted Black athlete excel, especially like on the football field? You'll hear the commentator say, he just makes the most out of his natural gifts.
Yeah.
Forgetting that, yes, of course he has natural gifts, but it takes a whole lot of hard work and training to be able to harness that natural gift. Yeah. I have the natural gift, but I can't just walk on a field and do anything. Me and my daughters were watching Sha'Carri Richardson the other day do her thing, right? And you know, Sama was like, you know, "Ooh, Baba, she fast. You know, can she beat you running?" I'm like, absolutely, she can beat me running.
Me too.
But you a man, that means nothing. She has put in work and harnessed her natural genius and blended it with her mental toughness.
Yes,
and her mental acuity to be what she is. No normal man can beat her running 100 meters. The only men that can beat her running are the men on the team over there.
The ones that just ran before.
Them the only ones, baby. Regular people don't run 100 yards under 11 seconds.
Yeah.
Right. And so one of those negative tropes is that the performance is based on a natural gift. We're animals, we're beasts, we're savages. That's why I cringe a lot when we take on some of the tropes, you know, and we say, ooh, beast mode, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel that means he don't care. But careful, because we used to be beasts by definition.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Man, he's a savage out there. He a savage. Y'all, some of these white commentators, they love that they got permission to say beast mode and savage. Yeah. Because at one time, by definition, we were called savages.
And the biggest one then that's what actually bothers me. Even if the person that knows it understands the context of it's freak of nature. That one right there, it just freak you. He's a freak of nature.
Right.
Nature. That's how we were really entitled for real.
Entitled. And these are, and a lot of people say them, and they do mean them as figures of speech. But when you have historical context for our group, right, they take on a different meaning, because we were literally, our enslavement and mistreatment was literally justified by these definitions. These definitions were argued in Congress.
Yes.
And like literally.
And
right,
connected to policy, right? That was the 3/5 aspect. The 3/5 was tied to the fact that they believed that we were less than human. You was a beast, you was a savage, you was an animal. All these things that we utilize as compliments in sports now. Yeah.
So and a lot of our young athletes are not given that context.
Exactly. And
they're not in that context. They're not being empowered to defend their own abilities as they move through the athletic pipeline. Look at what happened with Michael O'Hare with the blind side. We talked about it last week. But one point he made was that once he got to college, once he got to the pros, their misconception about his intelligence hurt him when it came to negotiating his contract.
Yeah.
He's the only one.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah.
He's not the only Black athlete who's been stigmatized by these stereotypes, and it's harmed their ability to negotiate and get a fair deal, if there's a such thing, you know what I'm saying, when they get to the negotiation table.
No, and that ties into what I was saying, is that when to understand the kinesthetic genius is to understand that it's not just physical. So for me, if a kinesthetic genius has the most mental acuity when they are able to utilize the kinesthetic genius, which means that it's not just physical, like he's physically gifted, when I'm able to utilize my physical gifts, it sparks my ability. When I'm in that zone, when I'm in that space, I can utilize my highest intelligence, right? I can think clearer. That's why when our young boys are in school, they want to move. They at the desk, they jumping and they let's go. You know what I'm saying? All of that things they want. I can do the work, but can I stand up and do the work? You know what I'm saying? So the reason why they do that is because that's kinesthetic genius. There's a genius in there trying to get out. There's a warrior energy, right? I can do the work. I just don't want to be sitting docile. No, I want to be up. Let me jump a little bit. Let me do you know, I can do my man. I just need to go. Can I do some jumping jacks first? So this is kinesthetic genius that's locked in there, that's want to be out. And when it's out, when I'm in my zone, I can think of anything, I can figure out anything, I can calculate, I can analyze. You know what I'm saying? It's all tied together, right? And that's misconception, right?
And it's a misconception because of the definitions that are brought into the space in the first place. See, we've gotten rights. We've gotten you know what I'm saying, rights and things on the books, right? But for many people, the definition of what a Black person is has not changed.
Yeah, that's right.
The working assumptions about Black children have not changed, right? And policy is built around definitions.
That's right. Yep.
So your son is not hyper intelligent. Your son is hyperactive. It's different.
Yeah.
Hyper intelligence is a gift. Hyperactivity is a disease.
It's a disease. Yeah, it's a condition.
It's a disorder.
Yeah, disorder. There you go. Yeah.
Hyperactivity is a disorder. So when they say the majority of young Black males in public school are dealing with hyperactivity, well, you're saying that they all have a disorder. Right, right.
So when you provide a type of prescription for that to reverse it, right? Then you see that activity or that hyperintelligence and the activity reverse, right? Now there's no activity. Now
there's no activity. Now you got a zombie on the pill in the classroom.
Yeah.
Right.
It has this still having difficulty to think and understand, you know what I'm saying? But you've changed their the expression of their natural genius.
Right. And the same goes with sports. How many young Black, I remember when I was young, most Black quarterbacks had to be wide receivers before they got to the NFL. Most Black quarterbacks understood you was going to be a wide receiver if you went pro, period. You can't be a mediocre Black quarterback.
Yeah.
And even right now today, you only got a handful of Black backups. See, if you want to know whether or not racism has improved, don't look at the stars.
Yeah. Look at the back.
Look at the subs. Look at the assistant coaches. Don't just look at the two head coaches that you got. Right. You got to look across the whole spectrum. And when it comes to the Black athlete, right, there's still a lot of issues there, especially where Black culture and Black athleticism intersect. Right. And with the dress, like even with the NBA, I remember when Allen Iverson was in the league when we were younger, and he wore hip hop. He brought hip hop culture into the NBA with the cornrows, the whole 9 yards. But at the same time, that particular aspect of our culture was being aligned with gangsterism and thugism. Now, everybody that looked like that wasn't a gangster. It wasn't a thug. It was just Black youth style.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But because of that association, it is a trip because the mafia wore suits. More people been killed by people wearing suits than people with cornrows and jerseys on. But I'm here alone, right? Yet we never associate the suit. As a matter of fact, they made the basketball players stop wearing baggy pants, jerseys, and cornrows and put them in suits.
Yes. Yeah.
Which
shows you who they're targeting.
Right. So so the target is really Black culture, right? And so what Black athletes have to deal with today, especially right down when you have racism being talked about more than in recent years, and the Black Lives Matter and police killings and even the racial terrorism that's going on in the country right now. You have a lot of young Black athletes struggling with identity. When Colin Kaepernick took his knee, right? Yeah. It was very interesting watching Black athletes, professional athletes, decide whether or not they were going to cooperate with that protest.
Yeah.
That was a very interesting dynamic.
Yeah. Many of them struggle with that battle of, man, in my spirit, I know I need to be, engaged, but man, if I do it, the owner that I already said, then we gonna lose our, you know what I'm saying? So that was real things that would have real threats, even with the beloved Dallas Cowboys. A lot of Jerry came and say, hey,
we're gonna lock arms, we're gonna kneel one time. together.
We're gonna do it together. After that, hey, I don't want to hear nothing else about it.
You didn't, did you?
Yeah.
And you did. And and the thing about that is, I think sometimes we forget that these professional athletes, they Black men from the Black community.
That's right.
And they're dealing with a lot of the issues that go on with Black folk. They Black folk too. Yeah. They've experienced racism. Many of them have been pulled over by the law and had guns pulled on them by law enforcement. Many of them have had friends and peers and family members killed and harmed by law enforcement, locked up unjustly, given a too heavy of a sentence, right? And you get in this, but you're in this field that you have an opportunity to gain some economic success, but a part of gaining that economic success is being quiet about what's going on in the world around you.
Yeah.
And if you caught being too engaged with the community that you came from, right, then you're criticized for that, a la a Ja Morant.
Yeah.
People wasn't really searching for context with Ja Morant in the beginning. They were just like, this incident happened, and it's because he's with these, he want to be a thug, he wants to be a gangster. We didn't get any real context.
Yeah, you're right about
that. Something start calling them down. There you go. Want to be hard? You about to blow the bag. You about to blow the bag.
I said, I ain't gonna lie. My first man, like, God, come on, Ja.
Yeah, come on, Ja. Said it too. Come on, Ja. But at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Let's rehumanize Ja.
True. Absolutely. We must. Yeah.
Let's rehumanize Ja and look at it, what I'm saying, from Ja's perspective. Look at the possibility that we don't know what Ja Morant is going through. We don't know if he's dealing with a real case of survivor's remorse. Right? We don't know if he's dealing with depression. We have no idea. We think because you're the top star in the NBA, you must be happy.
True. Yeah.
You must be happy and well adjusted.
Wow.
Because you got $100 million, that means you should be okay mentally.
Yeah. That's a great point, man. I think that's a great point when they're talking about the algorithm, because in the minds of many of us as people that are not in these leagues, or we believe that if our children make it, or if anybody that has made it, the only way to make it is that if they make it, it must be the pinnacle of everything that they can accomplish mentally, physically, spiritually, economically. It's the pinnacle of it, right? You go, if you made it, you should be happy. You perfect. Nothing can go wrong. No, nothing in your mind should be shifted. Should be no compromise. Thoughts. You're a professional athlete, right? Nothing's wrong with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of times, but we'll put that on them, but we'll understand within ourselves. We still dealing with stuff from back in 89.
And
right?
we keep separating ourselves from that our youth are caught up in. So Ja is caught up in this wannabe gangster culture. Where does it come from?
Exactly. Yeah.
It didn't pop up in this generation.
Yeah, that's right.
These are our children. We can't lose ownership of them because you know what I'm saying. Oh, what this generation? No, that's our generation. Those are our children.
That's our children. You know who a great example you just talked about? Sha'Carri Richardson, right? I remember when Sha'Carri had her, she had us incident, and she was going through what she went through, and they caught her with the little recreational, I'm saying? I'm talking about, man, it was unbelievable to see how so many of our people, man, just threw her away. Like, no, I knew it. She from Dallas, and she don't care.
Take out the hood. She can't take the hood out all that stuff.
Look at her nails. Look at her hair. She was gonna mess it up.
Yeah, ratchet ain't gonna work. She's too ratchet. She's this. She's that. And we went instantly because that algorithm triggers us, man, and that Black inferiority complex takes over, and we dehumanize those in spotlight rather than rehumanize, and again, it's that acceptance algorithm that says you got to be like Jackie Robinson.
You
got to be safe. You have to know how to enunciate your words. You have to cut your hair or have a normal hairstyle that doesn't threaten white people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
If you come from a background, you can't reflect any culture that's in that background. No colorful braids.
Yeah.
And then drop the shy. Why can't you just be Kari Richardson? It sounds so much better, right? And if she'd have said, my parents died, my mom died, or my, my grandmama died, I'm going through something, and I went to see someone, and now I'm taking Xanax as a prescription to deal with it, no one would have said a word, because the algorithm says if a doctor say you can take a drug, it must be best for you.
Yeah, if you got a prescription, you actually went in for an appointment and got a prescription drug, then you went about it the responsible way.
Yeah, until you take too many. Right?
Yeah. Until
because you say, I hit the weed to calm my nerves, boo. Instead of standing up and saying, look, y'all, she just smoked some weed.
Yeah.
Right. And she should get forgiven, because you turn around and little Russian girl got caught with real dope, and she got forgiven and was able to compete. Sha'Carri suspended, her name thrown through the mud. Yeah. But when I tell you that sister went back and got it together without changing who she is.
Yes. And even and the most beautiful thing is she even more conscious of who she is now. Right. She said, I'm no longer trying to, please the world. I'm doing this for people that look like me. I'm doing this for people that's been counted out. I'm doing for people, you know what I'm saying? So you sparked even more conscious in her, and now
I'm not back, I'm better. Yeah,
I'm back, I'm better. Right?
She went got her aunt tattoo. I saw the aunt.
Yeah, I see it. That's what I'm saying. So it was something, a challenge that she went through that made her grow. You know what I'm saying? But I know that we, as a collective, have to be able to recognize this type of evolution and learn the next time. Right, the way we should approach our children, right? Because she was 19, 20s. That is our child. So now we look at our own children. We look at the youth that are in these ranks, the athletes, and understanding the pressures of it, understanding the politics, the bureaucracy, the things around us. And guess what? They're in industries. So those industries, the people that benefit in those industries or exploit in those industries, they're going to utilize various tactics to siphon the most out of athletes. Right, so we have to be mindful of that in how we
giving up the least.
Yes, exactly.
That's what capitalism is. Extracting the most while giving up the least. So what we have to do to fight the Black athlete algorithm, right, is empower and educate our youth to deal with these systems and negotiate from positions of strength, not positions of weakness. You have to understand that University of Alabama ain't doing nothing. You're doing more for the University of Alabama than the University of Alabama is doing for you. Right. And you have to negotiate and engage them like that. Black parents have to come together and say, where do we want to take this talent pool? We're going to take this talent pool wherever it's going to benefit our community the best.
That's right. Yep. We do it from a collective perspective, and we do it from a vision base. Like we talk about vision development, vision building perspective. Our vision is the strongest community for our children to reach their full potential. What makes sense in their path, in their pipeline for them to reach that full potential, right?
I want to shout out to Eric Dickerson's grandmama.
Eric Dickerson, grandmama.
All the Black parents during the early era of integration. The only reason why the NCAA, right, is so stringent about athletes not getting money is because when they decided to integrate, that generation of Black parents understood that you don't care anything about my family. You just want to use my boy's body up. If he gets an injury, gets sent back here, what we gonna do? So in order to talk to a Black athlete in those days, the school had to bring money.
Yep.
They had to break the parents off. And the NCAA had to crack down on it because schools couldn't compete because this school got more money than the other school.
Yeah.
So I salute those Black parents because they should have charged them money just to come talk to an athlete. How dare you come from the University of Tennessee where my racist governor went to school and ask me to let my boy come play ball there, as if you're doing something. He's going to be called a monkey or the N-word, the whole 9 yards. And you want him to come play ball for you for free?
Yeah.
Right? We got to think about that. Do y'all know right now today, if Major League Baseball wants to talk to a pitcher in Japan,
Yeah.
they have to pay millions of dollars just for the conversation.
Yes, absolutely. Yep, it done happened several times, many times.
The NBA, if they want to go get a Yao Ming, a national player in China or something, they got to pay millions for the conversation. That doesn't even guarantee you the player. You got to pay millions for the conversation.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. No, that's
If
right.
our athletes had a community around them that protected them from exploitation by saying, before you even come into Stop Six, the community center needs a computer room. This needs that. UT cannot recruit in this neighborhood because U of T ain't put nothing in this neighborhood.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, does that make sense?
That's right. No, absolutely. It makes all the sense in the world. You know what I'm saying? That we would want that reciprocal relationship with our community as a priority of our engagement, of our agreement.
No longer can you come straight to the kid on the court and give him some free Nike shoes.
No,
right. We need a Nike center.
Nike need to sponsor.
We need an Adidas complex.
Generations behind them to benefit from. Absolutely.
No, we need some Nike STEM scholarships because his sister like computers.
No, absolutely. Yeah, his sister is a All-American coder, right?
We need that. Because the University of Texas is taking those millions they get from the football team, and they're pouring some of those funds into the STEM department, funds into the law department, so they can create more laws to oppress Black people. Funds over here, funds being financed by the NCAA tournament, that sort of thing. So if we're going to be commodities, they have to be commodities for us as well.
No, that's a phenomenal point, man. Because I've seen those buildings; they are there.
They're there.
No, and absolutely that there is no, let's just be real, without our youth playing sports at these major institutions, there are no institutions, right? Think about it. There are no other departments. There is no this high level business, business department and the law center, and you know what I'm saying? Those things are not significant without our children going there and being athletes in those spaces to raise that money for people to come out and spend millions and boosters to pour millions of dollars and all these endorsements from ESPN and all these other, man, without our children going into these institutions, the institutions are no more, than what we think about when we think about HBCU. They are no more than any of that, right? Our HBCUs, if it was the reverse, our HBCUs would be, on those levels that now we perceive as this huge thing, and we wake up to college football. It would be the same. Without our children, it does not work. So that's the way we got to utilize the leverage, understanding that these are our children, and we make the decision. We lead it. We own this process. We just got to take ownership and believe in who we are.
I came of age in the mid 80s, right? And I remember looking at professional football, and every time they introduced a Black player, 2 out of every 3 came from Southern, Grambling.
That's right.
Right. I remember a rich football tradition and basketball tradition inside of what we call HBCUs, right? But when that talent shifted and it became just go to these D1 PWIs exclusively for the best and brightest. The product became it developed that product for the NCAA, kind of diminished the product for the HBCU. In that same memory loss, the way we forgot the Negro leagues, the HBCU leagues were forgotten as well. You know what I'm saying? And that shift builds one institution and diminishes another. But you can't diminish Black institutions without diminishing the value of Black people internally. When our institutions aren't worthy, then what are we saying about ourselves? We aren't what?
Worthy. And we act that out in real time. See, we act that algorithm out, right? when we start to believe it, they start to ramp up the algorithm. They ramp up the algorithm. Okay, now the value is in the white institute. The value, right. And you see that on media, social media, and you start to hear the dialogue, right, amongst us saying, "No, that's why we don't send them to no ABC. Well, that's why we don't send." And they start to ramp that up even more. Now, in our minds, now we've devalued our own institutions, and anything that looks like that, right?
And we don't even think about building new ones, because look at the terminology. PWI, predominantly white institution. Not saying historically white, which it is. Predominantly white, which that just means this institution is predominantly, there's more white people here than anybody else. But then it's HBCU, historically black.
Yeah, that's right.
Right? That means it's a thing of the past. This is a relic.
Yeah.
We don't say PBIs, predominantly black institutions.
Yeah.
Because if we said PBI, we might say, wait a minute, we can start a new PBI.
That's right. That's right.
If you build an institution in a certain geographic location that offers certain classes and courses that attracts black people, you'll have a PBI.
That's right. That's right. Algorithm. The only thing that can stop you from thinking critically like that and commonsensically is an algorithm that says that's not possible. That's not even fathomable. Like you even saying that, a lot of people are like, damn,
I don't got no PBIs.
Yeah.
You know, why not take historically off of that acronym?
Yes.
And just say this is a PBI. This is a predominantly black institution. See, that sounds attractive.
Yeah, we need more, and we think about it, and we think about our children and their pathway to their development. We issue solutions that would connect to having a PBI. Like, we need more institutions that they don't have nowhere to go. They don't have they didn't know where to learn. Nowhere to, well, if they don't have nowhere, then we make somewhere. Right? Ain't that a logical answer? They don't have nowhere to go. They want to do. They can't. They don't have nothing. Well, let's make something. Something would be building.
And you don't got to call it a black college. It's just happen to be a PBI. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You have PWIs. It's Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They ain't got to say we're a white school.
Yeah.
They're the Fighting Irish.
Yes.
They're located in Indiana somewhere. You ain't got to say it.
That's right.
It just is. So if you put something in the middle of Birmingham,
and it's 89% black, well, more than likely it's gonna be.
You call the mascot the Black Lightning.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah,
who you think on the track?
It just
So and shout out to Cheryl Irvin of New Akibalan STEM Academy. I like this comment. She said to do that, we'd have to heal our minds of seeing white people as our saviors, saving our children from the hood, and that's the narrative.
Yeah, that's
the narrative. They saved me from the hood. This football got me out the hood, right? But when will we build institutions and empower our children to not just want to get out the hood, but to invest in it, rebuild it, and put the neighbor back in it?
Yeah. And that's the impact on the vision. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about envisioning, right? We talk about vision development, which we're doing some phenomenal work in it, man. I'm so excited about that, man.
Absolutely.
One of the critical components that we put in vision development and building is under our youth understanding the impact of that vision. So if I'm a natural genius, I'm a natural kinesthetic genius in it, and I have the ability to flow into a professional level, where when I envision myself at that professional level and I'm able to increase our economic power, that economic power in my mind should already be connected to the reinvestment in our community, in the future generations, right? It should already be a part of my content. It should be in my consciousness, right? It should be in my lexicon that I know when they write that check, when I sign that contract is also connected to the investment in opportunities for the people in my community.
And shout out, to that point, shout out to Jaylen Brown of the Celtics. You know what I'm saying? And I'm watching him closely. He just got the richest contract in NBA history, and he made it a point to say that he wanted to build a new Black Wall Street.
Yeah, he sure did.
He made it a point to say that. And he showed up this past weekend to play in Ice Cube's Big 3 All-Star game.
Yeah.
Right? even though Ice Cube has been complaining about the NBA trying to freeze the big three out.
Yeah.
Jalen, who just signed this big contract, took it upon himself to go and exercise his freedom and play to draw attention to the big three. And I thought that was a very empowering move and a nice algorithm fighting move on the part of Jaylen Brown. Right. My boy John Doe said me being an athlete myself in my younger years, he said he balled half his life from 7 to 17. A lot of people think black athletes are stupid or illiterate. He said, I blame the school system for that because a lot of them are because of schools just passing kids so they could play. I know grown men that graduate high school not knowing how to read, but they were top-notch ball players. That's happening generation to generation to generation.
Yeah. That's right.
Our children becoming athletic commodities and pass through academically because all that institution was interested in was making sure that baby was on the field.
Yep. They didn't maximize that kinesthetic genius to really unlock the natural intelligence. So it just became an algorithm that says I can only use this for my athletic prowess, my physical,
I just need you to know how to read a defense, bro. I just need you to know how to read. I don't need you to know how to read a book. I need you to read a coverage. I need you to read zone. I don't need you to read Robeson. I don't need you to read. I don't need you reading WB Boyce.
Analysis
I need you to read the safety's eyes, bro. That's all I need you to read. If you read the safety's eyes, if you can read what the wide receiver going in motion, that's the only reading I want you to do. The only reacting I want you to do is get to the right spot on the field when you read what the opponent is doing. But I don't want you reading anything else, right? Because that part, that intelligence is of no good to the institution that's exploiting your talent.
That's right. But I was gonna say, but we need it. Right. So as parents, as we come to a close, as parents, my brothers and sisters that's in positions to impact you, to influence, to educate, understand that it is on the deeper levels of that natural genius, of that kinesthetic genius, is what we need for our community to be as powerful and as strong as it must be. So those young athletes, we need to expand their natural genius, right, into them utilizing it to use that type of the competitive nature, that intense energy when they competing and hitting and everything that looks like they're doing, sweating and bleeding, willing to bleed. Those same type of principles, those same type of sacrifice that's given on courts and fields must be translated over into the work that needs to be done for us to be empowered, to us to be the strongest people that we can be. And that's the connection that we have to make that connect as the village, right? As pipeline of power builders, that's the pipes coming together.
Come on. Speaking of pipeline of power builders, make sure that you go to pipelinepower.com and take the pipeline builder pledge. Take the pledge, man. Take the pledge, pipelinetopower.com. You know what I'm saying? And take that pipeline to build a pledge. Man, I'm looking forward. I'm energized about all the vision development training opportunities we have coming up. I'm looking forward to getting in front of some young athletes with this vision development training. I'm looking forward to getting some coaches, you know what I'm saying, and getting them in front of this vision development training so we can begin to train the whole athlete. Right. Oh man, they're gonna be so much more powerful on the field when they connected to a destination that they believe in, an ultimate destination beyond cars and houses. There are certain things that our children will fall in love with that they'll work harder for than a house and a car.
That's right.
Right? Why do so many end up with so little afterwards, or end up on drugs and things like that? Because houses and cars get boring over time. It's not substance; they lose value, right? So yeah, man. Support the Pipeline to Power movement, by the way, via Cash App, $ pipeline to power. You know what I'm saying? Put your money where the movement is. You know what I'm saying? Go to uhuruacademy.com. You're looking for education, African-centered education solutions for your children. UhuruAcademy.com. UA online, enrolling right now. You can become a monthly patron at the Uhuru Academy as well. All right, by going to the Uhuru Academy Patreon channel. All right, it's scrolling on the bottom right there. Right, you can join our community at patreon.com/Uhuru Academy, or you can just support us directly via Cash App, $UhuruAcademy.com. This is just part one. I think we should come back and talk more when it comes to the potential of Black athleticism, organizing it, you know what I'm saying, and really commodifying it for our community.
That's right. Our benefit. With the NILs, we got to really connect.
Oh man,
us controlling the branding, the personal branding. You know what I'm saying? So we got a lot to talk about with this, baby.
We got a lot to unpack. A lot to unpack. It is time to fight that algorithm. The time is right. We have all the tools. We have everything we need to write, not just fight, but to write the algorithm.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, great job, Coach Jay.
You, brother. As always, brother, let's go get it.
Man, we holler at y'all next week. Fight the algorithm.
Fight the algorithm. Let's go get it. So.